Hey, what's up guys? Bob here. Welcome back to another guide for Dragon Ball FighterZ. This time we're going over something that is a bit on the older side. Has been covered quite a bit with the character's launch, or I guess the game's launch in this case, but it's been such a long time and there's been so much like extrapolated for it. I don't feel like a lot of older guides really do this move like a lot of detail. Plus I still got some questions the other day about like, hey, what characters get reverse beat combos in this game? And I figured, yeah, I use the character now on the regular, so I may as well go ahead and cover him. So, this is everything about Gohan's leveling up system. Let me actually double check what the hell the move is called offhand so I don't sound like a complete moron. Potential Unleashed. Probably should have figured. So, this move is probably one of the... Yeah, it's probably one of the most unique level ones in the game. Currently right up there with like Kaioken, Master Roshi's, level 1 that like forces switch outs on the opponent, which is pretty cool. This move like takes Gohan and literally not even exaggeration, on first activation it literally takes him from like a pretty like B tier-ish character to like A tier. That might sound like an exaggeration, but level 1 by itself seriously overhauls Gohan to that much of an extent. It's absolutely crazy. Now of course on that note, unfortunately with Gohan, this is his only level 1 option. So I feel like a lot of Adult Gohan players have a love-hate relationship with this move. I mean, obviously the love factor in that it grants Gohan a fairly good amount of buffs, but also a hate relationship in that, you know, you could have started with this. You could start level 1 and not have to worry about being level 0, which is objectively a pretty bad character at this point in time. And the fact that it's like his only level 1 GHC option, so you know. It's bad in terms of maintaining pressure. I'll cover more about that as we go forward. Now, of course, as I just mentioned, yeah, this is Gohan's only level 1 option. Just to double check, yes, you only have this off of 2 buttons. Of course, I go forward R1 and R2. To put us into perspective, you have this version, which is the immediate one, but then you also have the R2 button, which you can delay and go up more levels all at once for more meter. We'll be covering that more later, but yes, in essence, this is Gohan's only level 1. And unfortunately, it also has a caveat that, unlike some level 1s in this game, it's unable to maintain pressure in the corner. Unlike moves like Stardust Fall, which I mean, it leaves you far away from the opponent, but like it still causes them to be knocked down on the floor, so you know, it's kind of rough. Alright, before I get too far ahead of myself, I need to show this. That's what am I looking at? Nope. Boom, there we go. Yeah, I also have, I'm not going to keep this. I'm going to delete this afterwards. I just doodled this in Notepad at work one day. Really, what you see is what you get. I'm aiming for this to not be a longer guide, like maybe 25-30 minutes at most, but yeah, it's important to understand what this does for Gohan in the long run. But yeah, level 1's bad. The first reason being is that ground only, so you have no air options. It's short range, like horrendously short range. I think around maybe like here might be tip range. Barely. That had a slight shockwave at the very end of that. This will whiff. Yeah, that's not amazing. Pretty much, this is such a bad move that like literally if you are mid-screen and you land this, if you're level 1, you're not gonna land this on open field unless you do a certain combo that ends with certain knockdown. Let me actually go ahead and get far screen so you can see this. So you do the auto combo and you go down the ground. I completely whiffed that because missed my cancel window, but hang on, let's do it again. Do this here. Yeah, that doesn't land. Literally the only way you can land this mid-screen if you're starting with Gohan, which I'm sorry if you are, is this. The heavy version of, you know, the backwards fist will cause an immediate flat knockdown. Even then, it just barely gives you enough range to land it, so, And of course, by itself, it's horrible Uki because it pops up into the air. So your opponent could do a lot of things. This has been a severe learning experience for me using Cell with Gohan behind him, because if I wanted to DHC Cell into Gohan, essentially I was always giving up Uki and allowing the opponent to get away from the corner for free. Made a recovery forward. Oh look, the opponent's out of the corner. I can't really do anything to pressure that. Like, seriously. Unless I like hard telegraph this and do something maybe frame perfect, like really low angle Dragon Rush, which is super risky. And even then, I don't even think like it's actually possible. Yeah, maybe I could potentially like pressure them with a 2M, but they can easily just like air jump backwards and get away from it. So that's kind of bad. But yeah, I wanted to run this team for a long haul, but unfortunately Cell and Gohan don't have much synergy together. So you do this, DHC Gohan, you're like, yeah, in this situation you do get the level 1, that's not an issue. The issue, however, is that they are super high off the ground because of both Cell's barrier and Gohan's level 1. So that's kind of bad. Yeah, that is the express reason why I kind of dropped Cell, as well as the fact that, I mean, his neutral's kind of rough, so that's a side detail. Yeah, Gogeta allows this a lot easier because of the fact that when you tag him in with Gohan on second, by the way, you always, in my personal opinion, I think you almost never want to use Gohan on point because the assists are actually kind of good, and you really want to get that DHC level 1 in order to make Gohan an actual character. But yeah, as opposed to this, where if you time this well enough, well, that's better, but if you were to actually do it in the air, you can also get him with an air dragon rush, and you can keep him grounded, so it's really nice. But yeah, that's a short about why I kind of dropped Cell. Now, for what this actually improves, for Gohan's level 1 across the board, there's a lot of buffs. Like, actually an impressive amount, I keep forgetting. So everything above level 1, by the way, he starts getting a 2% damage buff for every time he does a level up. So for example, like, by himself currently, you do a 5M 700, you go for level 1, as you can barely see underneath the information text, still 700. Go level 2, 714. And then level 3 should be 724, 728. Etc, etc. It's a 2% increase for every level until you reach level 7, where it is a flat 10% buff to you, as the cap's at. That doesn't add up to like a 20% with everything, but you know what I mean. So, but level 1 by itself, no kidding. So the first big one and the obvious one that obviously a lot of people were using back during the game's launch because they were like, hey, this is a free left-right mix-up, why not? Of course, I go back, light, medium, heavy. In this instance, 214X because X is a variable for like 1 of 3 different buttons, you know what I mean? This goes from like a standard overhead smash, which is kind of gimmicky. This is super slow, 24 frames, like a lot of people can react to this. I think you can 2H this on reaction. Heavy's got some speed, it's not great. Now with level 1 though, all of a sudden you're teleporting in, so that's really nice. Full screen you can't do this raw because, you know, it's super seeable, but up close, not too bad actually. And the good thing about this too is that level 1 by itself, when you get there, the light version of this is actually fast enough that it is pretty much your new bread and butter ender. So like from level 1 or level 0, sorry, most you're gonna really get is just a standard universal bread and butter combo. Level 1 under your belt, you're quickly gonna see yourself not only getting way better Oki with your setups, but you have more damage as well. So for example, that's way closer. The magical thing about that actually, and I didn't write this in my notes actually, let me actually go back to mid screen. Hell, I can do this off of 2H also. Your opponent is close enough to you that you can go into level 1 by itself, so that is really nice. The next move that's substantially buffed by level 1 actually is the DPs, funny enough. Well, the medium and heavy versions. The light version is kind of so-so. I'm not sure if it actually receives any noticeable buffs from what I've researched, but you know. Anyway, so light version, standard DP. Let me have him stop back-teching that actually, or forward-teching. So that's a little more easy to showcase. The medium version by itself is a 2-hit. By itself, it's got really no range. Heavy version has some distance, or maybe, I know it's frame 1 activation. Now with level 1, however, no improvement, significant improvement, and heavy version goes almost full screen. Like, it's actually kind of nuts. I don't believe this scales with levels. Let me test it really fast. No, it doesn't. Okay. Now, is this a major improvement? I don't think so. Frankly, you really shouldn't be making an approach with a DP anyway, because that's kind of weird. But the fact that you have that much more leniency that you won't like whiff easily if you try to do a reversal, it's okay, especially with the heavy version, because if you go for frame 1 reversal, you probably don't want it to whiff in a lot of capacity. So yeah, that's okay. Okay, so the thing though that gets the most amount of buffs actually with Gohan leveling up is the machine gun kicks or lightning legs, whichever one you want to go with, depending on I guess Street Fighter terminology. Is it called lightning legs in Street Fighter? I don't actually know offhand. Anyway, so this is actually really nuts. So at base level, Gohan's kicks are so-so. I mean, there are a bunch of active hitboxes that just kind of linger. That's pretty good. Even heavy by itself, it's got some traits. You can use it to like empty jump and go for a punish with this. That's something, I guess, but it's not substantial. Where the fun starts happening, however, is with level 1. Okay, so between getting a new bread and butter combo that gives a lot of really good pressure, and this move, this is alone like is why Gohan goes from like B tier to fucking A tier. Like, no joke, this is like the exact reason. So, first let's look back at Gohan's light version. No forward advancement, some active frames, it's not too bad. Gold 1, way fucking faster. Yeah, the being faster with the legs is actually like, it does translate to more hits in general. The heavy version especially is like the big thing that also gets buffed as well. The heavy version by itself, as you've seen, it goes pretty full screen, or it goes like roughly about half screen. It's not really slouching in the range department. Like, it's not a full screen approach, but it's okay. Oh, you know, go level 1 though, all of a sudden it is pretty much a full screen approach. It's not completely coast to coast. It just whips a complete max range, but like even a little bit closer. Oh, look at that, you're in. And also, it's kind of like Vegito's auto combo as well, where it's got like a suction effect with all these hits. Like, if you even get one hit to land, the entire sequence lands. It's really nice. You can see it's also got some funky properties. I'm not too much of an expert on the machine gun kicks. I can't give you a lot of details on this, but yeah, it's half decent. Now, of course, one good thing about this, the level ups, is that the light combo, or sorry, the light version, becomes able to link into Gohan's really good wall loops. I've had to do this. I practice this a lot, but essentially, it looks something like this. Now, by itself, the opponent falls too fast to reliably do this. I've heard that this is possible, but maybe in some variants of the leg loops, I'm not sure, but this is really difficult to do with the way I do it. The one, though, is all of a sudden it's possible because of the way the momentum changes. As in, it actually becomes doable. I'm gonna need like 2 or 3 attempts at this in order to get it while talking. Hey guys, I can't actually do hard Dragon Ball FighterZ combos. You wouldn't believe it, but I can actually do them from time to time. Now, the medium version of this actually becomes a sorta hard mode combo filler if you're up for the task. So essentially, the medium version has enough like hits by itself and is stationary enough that you can use this in the middle of like a regular combo. Let me attempt this. Oh wait, I think you just have to hold back. There we go. God, that took me an actual 10 minutes to fucking land. My god. You have to hold back with the medium kicks. That's what it is. Okay. I was wondering why the hell is this so hard? I know I've done this before. Okay. The trick is also you can't hold down the medium button whatsoever. You have to literally tap it like as fast as you can. Okay, boys. So I missed some stuff. So this is me from the future going back after editing and realizing, hey, there's some things about level 1 I actually kind of missed, and it's very important. So there's 2 major buffs that level 1 also gives Gohan that I completely missed. One is he gets free access to a free move in 3L, down forward light, if you're not familiar with the terminology. So the reason this is important is because this is essentially Gotenks' heavy hammer fist, which is really good. Sorry, not hammer fist, machine gun fist. It's really good because you have 2 speeds at which you can release at. You can cut it short, or you can do the full duration. Reason this is really good is because you control the pace at which this happens. So if your opponent is expecting the full rep to come out, and you cut it short, you essentially can take your turn back because it'd be very hard to react to this, so it's really nice. Whereas the full version, it's still got a lot of blocks done. You can confirm it in most things, or you can like just go for this, or you can reset your block string. You have options. But yeah, that essentially takes your block strings and makes it look something like this, which is kind of nutty to try and block all of, not gonna lie. So yeah, that's not too shabby. The most important thing about this, however, is that it's -2. Meaning that your opponent, if they don't immediately react and know that you're going to cut short and you go for a reset, they have a 2-frame window in order to throw a jab that's 6 frames to beat you. Otherwise, they have to reflect or do a DP or do a level 3, any one of those options, and then they can escape. So, good. And the other reason this is really good, level 1 by the way, is that it actually alters your auto combo. Now, I can't believe I actually missed this in my go through of it. So let me go ahead and set into level 0 really fast. Okay, so normally Gohan's auto combo looks like this. 2 hits, and then he goes for the machine gun fist, and then, kicking away. Again, no down forward light, so that's one thing that you do like in level 1. So when it's changed, or when he's at level 1, suddenly his auto combo, it looks a lot longer. Now, there's one particular thing about this that is really good, and that is all of a sudden, his 2L is thrown into the block string. Now, that might seem really innocuous, but this is also really important because it helps out his stagger pressure. It's 0, completely neutral on block. The normal hit itself is indeed 0. So even though this is not a low 2L, because he's got Standing Light for that, even though he can only do the one rep, this is still really good because when you're let at 0, this means that your opponent, in order to escape, has to jab if they want to challenge your pressure and escape, or something else. Like, they just have to sit there and take it. So you can kind of just reset. Now, the especially good reason why this is nice, look how much distance this puts you between your opponent, right? So it's outside of Gohan's jab range, so you can't just steal your turn back willy-nilly, but it is just outside, or it is just inside your 5M reach, because 5M is still really good. Now, this leaves you with a couple opportunities to kind of fuck with your opponent. One of the big ones that I think is personally pretty good is going for it, stopping, and then going for 5M. Because if your opponent doesn't know there's a space create with the jab, then remember what the spacing looks like. You can go for this. In fact, let me get Beerus actually jab after that little block string. Yeah, about the expected result. So, yeah. This is going to vary heavily by matchup, of course. Like, Broly could probably do a 5M to armor his way out. Beerus could do a DP to escape. But for stagger pressure, which I'm slowly but surely realizing is more important to Gohan than actual, high-low mix-ups, because this is very easy to guard cancel. So, go figure. This is really nice. So, yeah, just want to share it with you. This is very important information. Back to past me. Okay, resetting my brain a little bit. So, yes, as it's already been mentioned before, you can take Gohan's levels all the way up to level 7. Once you get to that point, you do gain access to the reverse beat combos that Gohan, Frieza have and Vegito have. Now, first of all, I do want to mention, I have no idea where the term reverse beat comes from. It's probably from Guilty Gear. I've barely played Guilty Gear with the newer version. I got bullied. It was fun. But no, essentially, what reverse beat means is that essentially you can go from medium to light, heavy to medium, or like heavy to light, or like do variants of that. That's essentially what it means in a nutshell. This essentially opens up some really wacky combo routes with Gohan. I've seen some level 7 combos before, and they are I already know. I've already practiced them. You can't. It's very difficult to do them. But I can attempt to show what I can do with him. Something like this. That just immediately took me up to 5100 with the additional hit. But that's like the most practical way I know if you can utilize that. So essentially I've seen people like do 2M into 3H. Do this into like a restand. I'm not sure the exact timing of this. But then re-land. You can re-land with Gohan multiple times and link into more jump kicks. Thanks to his giant forward kick, which is really nice. This has a lot of hit stuns, so this is really good for air combos. But personally, I'm not that great at them, so I'm not going to try to land it. Well, I'm not going to do a combo at all. Now, I'm gonna say it straight up. You don't need level 7 combos. You don't even need level 7. Period. It's not practical whatsoever. Literally, what you want to know, practical range for Gohan you want to be level 1. That's it. At that point, anytime you go, okay, with Gohan, anytime you're going for level 1, like granted, once you're past level 1 by itself, or sorry, whenever you go for a level up with them, once you're past level 1, you're really just going for the small damage increases, but in all honesty, you don't need them because they're not really going to push you that much forward to getting like 2 touches with him, as well as the fact that every time you do them, you give up valuable Oki, which honestly, pressure in this game is honestly way better than damage, like straight up. Like Gotenks before the buffs was a prime example of that. Kefla is a kind of a good example of that. Like pressure is just more beneficial than Oki across the board. Plus like even I'm still level 7, oopsie. Plus like even with Gohan at level 1, you're still getting good damage out of this, really. 4750 you can just keep that, or like you can do it again, and then when you have your point at like 9400 points of damage, then you can go for level 1 or level 3 and you can go for a one shot. It's really just Gohan wants to utilize pressure with his high lows, so that way he can mix the opponent up really well. And also the fact that, you know, every time he does go for a level up, he only gets a damage buff for himself. So if you lose Gohan, that's 7. That's theoretically like 1 or 5 more bars a meter you just dumped, trying to go for like 2% damage incremental increases, whereas you could have dumped into like hits ridiculous new level 7 where you can just immediately one-shot someone. So it's just not practical for the resources, in all honesty. Now, that being said, there is ways you can actually level up multiple times. So if you're sitting on a stockpile of meter, like for example I am currently, there's ways you can dump meter into multiple level ups at the same time. It's not impossible, and sometimes it can be worth it, but generally you just want to save the resources for, you know, anything else. Like, you know, this is a whole 7 bars. What can you do with 7 bars? I can use Gogeta's level 5. I can use Vanish 7 times to just escape scenarios, escape damage for free 7 times in a row. Like, the resource management is just way more in favor of hanging on to the bar rather than expending it. Honestly, yeah. Plus, I mean, if you stockpiled 7 bars, you're gonna win the game. At that point, it's literally just the equivalent of like Yu-Gi-Oh! With just a win more card, where like it doesn't really help you turn a situation in your favor. It just like, it makes it so that you win more when you're already winning, you know what I mean? So leveling up multiple times with quote unquote heavy special, or in other words R2 in this case, because default control. By the way, I always play default controls with fighters, is great. So anytime I say like R1 or R2, default controls, just so you know that in advance. Anyway, leveling up multiple times is actually pretty feasible with Gohan. For example, I'm just gonna go for a basic combo here with level 0 Gohan. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at that! I just went up to level 4 immediately. Huh? How about that? Well, there's a weird thing. So first of all, I'm gonna show you what it looks like to go straight from level 1 to level 7. Huh? There's a weird little gap there from the activation to the impact, where it's 48 frames of a gap. That's kind of odd, isn't it? Because, you know, the regular version is 12 frames startup. Doing level 7, 47 frames. I don't believe Arc System Works post Season 2 or even 3 needs this kind of limitation on Gohan. Honestly, it's sort of, I think this is like an attempt to balance out, like, if a player has 7 bars, they can just go right from level 0 to level 7, because back in Season 1, I guess people would probably have thought that going straight to level 7 was kind of broken. It's not. Like, you know what? You want to know what's broken in Season 1? Bardock? Cell? Well, this character, funny enough, if you didn't use leveling system, but yeah, you didn't need that at all. So let's just go over some. Now, if you did want to expend the bar, though, here is some input. Now, the startup usually across the board is 12 frames. Like, that is generally true. Level 0, level 7, level 1, level 2, level 1, level 2, level 3. level 3, level 4, and so on. This will, using R1 to level up will always give you 12 frame startup, so it's never a big deal. Easy to use at the end of a combo. With Gohan solo, it's not a big deal. Now, where it gets tricky is where you wanted to jump multiple levels. So, it's easy if you go from like level 0 to level 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 13 frames. I actually didn't know there was a difference in that. Funny that. But there's still no difference here, really. Yeah, that was 12. It might have just been a variable because of distance, but yeah. Also, the more meter you do dump into one of these, the more damage you will do. For example, like, you know, going for level 7, the 7 bars will get you 3410. Usually just 1600. It's not a big deal. I wouldn't pay attention to that personally. Now, I've gone through and mapped out like the exact situations where you're gonna spend more time with Gohan trying to go for like multiple level jumps. If you want to map these out, this is a good time to do so. If you're going for like specific routes where your Gohan is your mid, and you tag in, you'll have like 4 or 5 meters starting. This is good for you. Going from level 0 to level 6 is 29 frames. Okay, so first of all, as we've seen multiple times already, yes, going from level 1 to level 5. Actually, sorry, not level 1 to level 5. Level 0 to level 6, or no, level 5. 0 to 6. I did it again, shit. 0 to 5, God, I'm in a mess today. Is 13 frames or 12 frames. Yeah, it's lying. And as, of course, as you've seen already, going from level 0 to level 7 is a full 47 frames activation. Now, if you start like level 1 and you want to go up to level 6 or level 7, here's the information that you want. Level 1 to level 6 is 12 frame startup. So, for example, let's just start level 1. And we're going to need 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 13 frames. Level 1 to level 7, however, you'll notice that the dip in time needed. Let's just go all the way up. 29 frames. Huh. Interesting. So that means that going from level 1 straight to level 7 is actually only a 29 frame activation, down from our 47, which is really nice. And then if you were to start, say, from level 2, let me just do them individually. We start from level 2, and then we go up to level 7. You'll notice that, yeah, it is now down to just 12 frames. So I noticed that anytime you go for a 5 level jump or higher, that's when Gohan needs like a second to kick in with the activation of the move, so that way he can do it. There are some situations where you can level up multiple times straight, but I'll just show you like some general tips and tricks about doing this right now. Now, starting from level 0, going up to level 6, you can do this pretty easily off of the auto combo in the corner. You're going to want to use a fastball so you have maximum time to do this. Remember, frames are your measure of time, obviously, so the more advantage you can give yourself from, you know, being able to do things. Okay, I didn't expect that to pop up all of a sudden. So you want to always be measuring like these sorts of like time spans where you can go from like you can give yourself as much time as you possibly need in order to land these things. Now, however, starting from level 0, going to level 7, you'll notice that did not go through. The 47 frames was just not there. I was actually left negative. When Goku Black kicked off the ground, he could have easily smacked me. Actually, you know what? I can get him to easily showcase that. Yep, that didn't quite work out. To be fair, however, I think I'm already at level 7. Yeah, okay, yeah. Even though I was punished for that, I do still keep my bar, so, or I keep my level, so that's nice, but didn't quite work out. Not what we want. Now, as for assists, however, that's where things get a little more flexible, and you can definitely work with it a bit more. I think you're reaching this point if you want to look at assists in order to give yourself enough frame advantage to go level 7, but it's fine. I'll show you anyway. Okay, so we're going to look at this in terms of frame advantage we get off of assists or from DHC opportunities like with the Spirit Bomb. So for example, Vegeta's A assist, 44 frames of advantage. Or no, that's 44 frames. It gives, Vegeta's A assist gives us actually a fairly good amount of frame advantage as it is. The only trick is that, however, it is like 44 frame startup, so gotta time this a little bit well. but you time it from the activation. That does go through, so that's kind of good. However, I'm pretty sure it'll just barely give me enough time to actually land this, so let me see if we can possibly do this. There we go. Yeah, with just the right timing, that did actually go through, so that's not bad. That's actually pretty good. Alright, I'm going to get a little unorthodox and actually showcase Frieza. This is definitely not going to be his modern optimal route, but I'm going to show you this anyway, because screw it. Okay, so this is a much older tech, but this does actually work. The only problem is that you're already spending bar. You can't use Frieza's DHC trick to go straight from level 0 to level 7 because with Frieza you're already spending a full bar with his Death Ball to, you know, initiate the sequence anyway. But it does get you from level 1 to level 6 or level 0 to level 6, decently well. Just, you know, good luck amassing 7 bars with Frieza easily. Yeah, frankly, I would try to go for this situation, but yeah, that's just details. Okay, so some of you might be familiar with the fact that Vegeta's A assist, or rather Blue Vegeta's A assist, got heavily buffed. Now it has so much goddamn hit stun. Like, look at that. That's... I can literally like go take a shit and come back and have enough time to land this. Like, look at that timing. He was already falling by the time I got the super dash to work. It still landed. That's nuts. So, if you're able to calculate for Vegeta's insane startup time for Big Bang Attack, you can actually use him to do this. This might be the easiest way to do it, honestly. Dubious, but it is possible as a pure concept, I guess. Okay, so this is the old Cloud 805 special. In terms of team comp, not necessarily the strategy, but you know what I mean. So this will take you level 6, again, because you're DHing off of Kid Buu, you won't have the time to go straight to level 7, but that's okay. Because Kid Buu also has his A assist. And the A assist gives you more than enough time to do whatever the hell you want. That's easy. Yeah, Kid Buu is, you know, obviously the famous lockdown assist, so makes sense he'd be able to do it. Okay, so obviously the whole synopsis of this is that you want an assist behind you that will obviously give you enough for frame advantage in order for all of this to land. Which is, not in this case, but in this case, which is a full 47 frames, if you, for some reason, have this much meter. Maybe your opponent was falling asleep and you're able to get away with key charging all the way up. Now, two things. One, I would almost never really advocate for leveling up multiple times in one combo. It's not really necessary, personally speaking. I'd rather spend a meter like anywhere else, really. Yeah, honestly, the damage buff is just not really worth it. Literally, once you get from level 0 to level 1, that alone is pretty much all you really need for a Gohan, really, because, I mean, at that point you can cheese with this. And frankly, I find saving the meter for this, or Gohan's level 3s, to honestly be a way better usage of his meter. While the damage buffs are kind of okay, in certain situations, if you go for it, frankly, I'd rather just spend the bar for, like, you know, 2 bars equals 4 uses of this, it equals 2 vanishes, it equals 2/3 of the way to a whole level 3 for, you know, high damage and Oki. So yeah, but that being said, his level 1 does actually offer some unique scenarios I was actually not going to cover because it just occurred to me, and I've been researching this the last few days. Since it is such a fast activation, it can lead to some fun scenarios. And actually, I've already shown off earlier. I figure I may as well go ahead and share what I know about this anyway, because I spent some time looking into it the other day. I don't have this in my notes, this is all freeballing it, but there are some situations where Gohan's level 1 does actually benefit him to pretty good capacity. Because it's such a fast activation, that alone allows him some pretty neat team synergy where if you are tagging in from level 1 that has a long activation window, or a long active window, sorry, that's what I meant, you are able to, as I've shown already, go for a Dragon Rush Ender, and you get even better Oki than if you just attack and raw. So that's really good. There are some level 1s in the game that where you can DHC off of them, and you're left at either an opportunity to keep your opponent just pinned to the ground, so you get better Oki than like if you were to not do it, or you can straight up DR. I'm going to showcase who I found the other day, and oh, look at that. He's forced out on the ground. Granted, in this situation, he can choose to either delay, wake up, he can up tech, he can do all that stuff, but he can't tech out of the corner, which is honestly a really good start, because that means that immediately I have better wake up options to pressure the opponent with, and Gohan, if nothing else, is a really good pressure monster with level 1. So let's go ahead and show some other stuff. But yes, Goku, if you have him on point, God forbid, you can actually enforce a scenario, so that's really good. Now this is pretty cool. The only thing that's unfortunate, however, is that since I DHC so early with Gohan, the level 1 is not going to connect from my end to the opponent, so I can't get the bonus damage, but that is an opportunity to get some decent pressure. Okay, so this is a really stupid one. Essentially with Teen Gohan, and some level 1 supers kind of do this. If you do your usual combo in the corner, land and then do it and then tag as fast as possible, you can connect with his light back fist if you teleport with a teleport. It doesn't give you any real Oki because you've already eaten up your smash because of the prior combo, but this is kind of a fun thing. It works with Gotenks as well. Yeah, I'm not sure how well that actually works for wake up pressure, but it is an option if you want a quick reset. So that's kind of cool. If you do end up in a scenario where you have Majin Buu behind you with Gohan, then this does give you enough time to go for a multi-level up if you want to. Theoretically, it's there, but I can imagine a lot of scenarios where this would be your first option. Yeah, this is a super Season 1 team, but Android 16 also gives you like this hard wake up from it. And if you do the command grab at the very end and you keep him low to the ground, then you can in fact you can also get the DHL level 1 from Gohan to land as well, so that's really nice. Okay, so this is actually a team I've been messing around with. I think this is going to be a team I switched to after Gogeta, but essentially, this is very much the same situation with Super Saiyan Goku, so this can work pretty well. Oh, go figure. I can do this perfectly here my first try. What's my life sometimes? You can also get this with Beerus. I've tried multiple times to like maybe see if that you can super jump afterwards and go for DR, but I don't think you can do it, so light version might be the best way you can go. Okay, so as if you needed more reason to use base Vegeta, here's this strat I found the other day. Because I figured, hey, him and Blue Goku have a very similar super, so yeah, you can easily do that. Yeah, I guess Cooler does get it in this situation, huh? As if Cooler wasn't already a decent enough character already, he's also got that, so, I mean, options there if you want to go for it. Well, I'm pleased that Jiren definitely gets his mix up, so that's really cool. Okay, so I'm really glad this one works at least. Broly, his level 1 does some weird stuff where like it side switches, so I'm a little glad this actually does work, because normally it puts him on the other side of the opponent from the corner, but if you DHC early, like super early, it keeps the opponent right in front of you, and it does allow for a pop-up into an easy DR, so that's really nice. More people need to play Super Broly, he's really fun. Okay, so with that, hope you guys have learned a thing or two. This mechanic is ancient and definitely dates back to the launch of Dragon Ball FighterZ. It's really unique, but obviously it's super overbalanced by the things I've already shown you. If every additional level up past level 1 was like half a bar, I could see that being pretty reasonable for doing, you know, Gohan's reverse beat stuff and learning that stuff. But honestly, I think even Golden Frieza is more practical than level 7 Gohan. It's not really worth it in the long run. You're far better off just playing fundamental Gohan and just doing well with them. Or you can not be silly and use Teen Gohan, I guess, because Teen Gohan essentially has all the benefits of Adult Gohan level 1, but at the start of a match, and better pressure. So yeah, that's what it is. So hope you guys enjoyed. Catch you later. And let's see what menial bullshit I managed to find to talk about next for this game.